Okay, got this thing going. I'm Critics from the most extreme wrestling, and this is your AEW Dynamite review for May 5th, 2021. Back in Jacksonville, Florida, at the Daly's Place once again. JR, Tony Schiavone, and Excalibur on commentary. This, my friends, is blood and guts. We've been building up to this for a few weeks now. It's been a show that we're gonna do in between our pay-per-views, since we don't really do pay-per-views that much in AEW at this point for, well, known reasons, justifiable reasons. We got 2 rings here tonight. Well, we have 2 entrances, we got 2 rings, but we got 1 cage. And the cage is just for the main event. Well, and some promos going into the main event, but we'll get there in just a moment. But right now, we got Don Callis, and he brings out Michael Nakazawa. Now, Nakazawa is going to be tagging with Omega, or that's what we think is going to happen. But Callis is telling us that that's not going to happen. Omega is not there, even though the commentators, the people in the arena, everyone knows, I know, you know, that Omega, he is there. We've seen him. We know for a fact that this man is lurking around somewhere. But Michael Nakazawa, he's in his khakis. He's in his polo shirt. He's got his lanyard on. And it looks like this is going to be a 2-on-1 match. That's what they are telling us here. It's Jon Moxley and Kingston going to be taking on just Michael Nakazawa. Now, of course, when Jon Moxley and Kingston do their entrance, when they're coming down, they get jumped. And yes, Omega, he is there, in fact. Surprise, surprise. So I don't know exactly why Michael Nakazawa didn't put on ring gear. I guess he's completely changed his gimmick. He's no longer the oiled up man. He is the laptop toting IT guy. He's an assistant to Omega, so that's what he's doing. The thing about the match to start, before we actually get into the match, that was driving me nuts this entire night up until the main event, was they had the hard camera in the center of the ring, right? And oh my God, I just went completely out of focus. How do I fix this? Oh, I guess I have it on automatic, which is not good. I'll be messing up my camera. Normally I have it static, but hopefully it can focus on me. What the heck is it trying to focus on? I don't understand. Regardless, here in this, they have it not centered. I know I'm complaining about the camera when I'm having camera problems myself, but whatever. It's fine. It was off center. So when they were having matches in the left ring, it was like off center, where normally, you know, the hard camera, of course, is right there dead in the center. And yeah, so that's kind of a problem. But you know what? Hey, my camera's a little bit fuzzy. I don't know is it trying to focus? Where in the heck is it trying to focus? I don't know. Regardless, let's get into this match. Oh my God. So yeah, as they get in here, Michael Nakazawa, you know, hey, he's making it through this match somehow with his lanyard on, with his shirt mostly tucked in, until the point he rips it off. I suppose he's trying to get serious here in this match. And yeah, that doesn't really work out too well for him, because Moxley, he ends this thing with Michael Nakazawa, and Kenny Omega even, he leaves in this match. So, you know, showing a little bit of his cowardice in this match. And yeah, Omega, hey, he's a bad guy. He's a heel, so he's going to do these things. Now, after this match, after Jon Moxley wins this thing, the Young Bucks, they are the tag team champions. They're up on the stage, and they're talking all of their mess, right? And the Good Brothers, of course, they come down and they blindside and beat up Kingston and Moxley even more. Young Bucks, they come down. They're the tag team champions, and of course, they're with the Good Brothers. They were part of this alliance here with Omega, and they super kick Moxley and Kingston. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this was when Omega comes back down and he's got his camera guy in tow, the guy with the mask, the old like what is it called? It's like a protective mask. Whatever. He comes down and hits the one-winged angel on Kingston, and Nick gets down to let us know that he can count to 3 and to give us like that visual like, yeah, I totally could beat you because look, we just did the 1, 2, 3. Well, Double or Nothing is coming up May 30th. I cannot believe that it's coming up so incredibly quickly. And yeah, I want to focus on that camera. But my goodness, yeah, that's going to be coming up. So get your money ready. Tonight, however, is free. And it's kind of a pay-per-view feel in a way, at least for the main event. So that is that's basically what we're here to see, right? The main event here. But we will also see Cody versus QT Marshall that's happening tonight. Is that a match that people wanted to see? Maybe. I didn't necessarily. Is it going to be a good match? I'm sure it will be. But was the Nightmare Family bus showing up? Was that enough to get me excited? Was that little brawl with everybody's fist in the air and standing up tall on top of the bus, was that enough? I don't really think so. But they tried. They did something, right? And I don't even think they had a video package for this. So I guess you would have had to seen it to care about it. So yeah, we're going to be seeing that. We're going to be seeing that right now, actually. QT Marshall. And on his side, Cody takes his belt off. QT ends up using that belt. The ref takes it away. So they're not going to do disqualifications in this. I wasn't exactly sure. But outside, QT, he gets in the face of Arn Anderson, and Arn Anderson gets physical to the point where he gets ejected to the back. So he can no longer give verbal guidance to Cody Rhodes. Cody, for some reason, pulls down the tights of QT, showing QT booty. Wait a second. That doesn't sound right. QT booty? Well, you know what I'm saying. QT Marshall's back end with the crack and everything. They blurred it out. So this wasn't live. I'm live. But that wasn't live, obviously, because I don't know how they would have been able to blur it out unless they have a smudge thing on the screen. Regardless, QT somehow hits the crossroads on Cody because he's a heel. He's a heel. So, of course, he's got to use Cody's move. And, of course, he can only get 2. He cannot beat him with his own move, right? Cody gets his eye busted. It's blood and guts, so we got to have some blood, right? Because we don't have any guts right here. Or is it Cody who has the guts? Well, guts to fight QT Marshall? I don't think that's really going to work. But, yeah, so they do this thing. Cody, look, he's got his eye busted. He slaps on that figure 4, and QT Marshall taps because, hey, he's got no other alternative but to do that. As Cody celebrates his win, Anthony Ogogo walks down and gets a cheap shot, like, bam, right in the midsection, and, buries Cody under the UK flag, the Union flag. So it looks like we go from one feud to another. And is QT Marshall made now? I don't really think this match really did a lot for him other than just exposure. But a feud with Anthony Ogogo, I'm much more interested in that. And seeing what these two guys can do. So hopefully they'll have more of a feud than just random brawl for whatever reason. We shall see. Now Alex Marvez, he's interviewing a Scorpio Sky, and Scorpio Sky, he's got his little partner here, Ethan Page, and Scorpio is calling out Sting, saying he's a mosquito, and you know what you got to do with mosquitoes, you got to kill them off, I guess, smack them, squash them like a bug, and says that Sting has overstayed his welcome. Well, Sting's not actually on the show because he was injured from like that heel hook previously. So, okay, we won't be seeing him. But we do see Ethan Page as he cuts a promo here on Darby Allin. And yeah, he basically doesn't understand Darby Allin and all this, but doesn't give him too much time to talk because Darby Allin actually flies into the scene here. They're up in the rafters somewhere, up on the upper deck, and a brawl ensues upstage because it's AEW and brawls got to happen. Darby climbs up a wall and hits the coffin drop, but that's not enough to keep these guys down. It's not enough to keep Ethan Page down, apparently, as they toss Darby down a flight of stairs because, hey, Darby, he's just going to take the most amount of pain possible, right? And that's exactly what they do. And tossing him down the stairs, getting injured and getting hurt, I suppose, because it looked brutal. I haven't fallen downstairs like that, but I don't want to find out what that feels like. It cannot feel good, is what I'm saying. Talking about like that hurts. It hurt me deep down inside, all right? Now, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, they're happy with their destruction, and some doctor guy comes to check on Darby during the break. Next up, as I try to see if there's anything I can do at this point, why does my camera freaking hate me? Where exactly? Okay, I think if I get closer, it's a little more. A little more? I don't know. Whatever, dude. I'm just going to have to deal with it. And I'll deal with it right now. Watch this. It's Britt Baker, DMD with Rebel, and she's taking on Julia Hart. I've never heard of this person. She's taking her on right now. However, she is not part of the Hart family, and she's dressed up like a cheerleader, I think, perhaps. Well, she's going to have to try harder because, look, early on, Britt Baker knocks Julia down, brings out her glove, gets that air raid crash. She goes for the pin, but she lifts her up because she's a heel, and just she picks her up just so she can put the lockjaw on, and Britt Baker wins this match. Quick match, but Britt Baker, hey, she's going to get that title shot pretty quickly. Now we got Taz. He's got a breakdown of Christian's match against Will Hobbs and how Christian, he just doesn't have it anymore. So, man, Taz is really hating. The man is hating. He's got a whole segment just to hate on Christian. That's just wrong. Now we got a big tag match, and the winner of this tag match is going to face the tag team champions next week. Don't we already have number one contenders? Don't we already have top-ranked tag teams? I still to this day cannot understand why AEW still does these huge, like, hey, if you're in a tag team, let's all have a tag team match all together right now, and whoever wins is going to be the number one contender, even though we pretty much already have top-ranked tag teams and number one contenders, but screw it, let's do it anyways. Got the Varsity Blondes. They don't have an entrance. Why? I don't understand. They got the Dark Side of the Ring with his dad. You don't even give him an entrance. They get the Acclaimed out, and they doing their little rap thing. They drop this bar about the Varsity Blondes going to end up on the Dark Side of the Ring in the future. And I was like, man, that is woo. I'm positive that he got that approved beforehand because holy crap, that's just wrong. SCU's in this match. Jurassic Express is in this match. They got Marco Stunt with them as well. And it only takes a few minutes for this entire match to break down into chaos, as I'm sure everyone expected that. Get a BME from SCU over here on Brian Pillman Jr. for the win, and SCU, they get their title match next week. And why I bring up the whole, like, why do this match thing again is because wasn't it last week when they were obviously building towards an SCU and Young Bucks match, only to be like, well, we got to find out who's going to face the Young Bucks. And guess who it is? It's SCU. Duh. Now we do get a video package now explaining the Moxley IWGP United States title match that's going to be happening next week. Moxley versus Yuji Nagata. So that's cool. I'm glad they explained that. I am very happy with AEW giving us some kind of reason and explanation in the context of AEW why they are indeed having this match. Now, the Blood and Guts is going to be coming up. We have 1 hour left here in the show, and they lowered the cage. Why, if they are lowering the cage, if the match is not happening right here at this particular moment? Well, so they could get some really cool backgrounds for Tony Schiavone's interviews because they have the cage. It has lights, LED lights set up in it. So we can have a cool effect in the background. And Tony, he's introducing Kenny Omega, the AEW champion. Tony has a huge announcement as Omega is there. Michael Nakazawa is carrying all of Omega's other titles that he's won, like the Impact title, the TNA title, all that, the AAA title. Hey, he's got them all, right? And of course, Omega is carrying his AEW championship. He's got it proudly displayed, all right? Now, the big announcement is it's going to be Pac versus Orange Cassidy. Whoever wins that match will go on to face Kenny Omega at Blood and or at the pay-per-view at Double or Nothing, right? And I'm like, okay, so they're putting Orange Cassidy in this match because he's a fan favorite and people like him. But then the other side of me is like, yeah, but how freaking believable is that? Do I believe in any possible scenario that Orange Cassidy's going to win the match? No. Do I think in any conceivable thing right now that that in a big pay-per-view like this, that Orange Cassidy is going to get a title match at a pay-per-view in the main event? No, I really don't. And obviously that's not what they're going to go for here, especially right now with the pre-built up stuff with Pac. So, and Omega is thinking the exact same thing. He's like, what? Are you serious? He laughs. He scoffs at the idea that that Orange Cassidy is even getting in this thing. He mentions he's not championship material, etc. Now, Omega, he's there. He's cutting this promo, and then bam, here comes Orange Cassidy sauntering on in, and he's got his sunglasses on and everything. And Omega is basically just laughing in this guy's face. Takes off Orange Cassidy's glasses, looks at the glasses, and is like, "Oh, these are nice. You know, these are Ray-Bans. What are these, $800 or $1,000?" And I'm like, WTF, man. I know that people pay a lot for sunglasses sometimes, and some of these glasses are expensive. That's crazy, dude. That's freaking crazy. I'll buy like sunglasses on Amazon for $12. Literally, the ones that I've had now, I've had for years, and they haven't even broke, and they were so cheap. Do people can people look at sunglasses and be like, "Oh, dude, much respect, $1,000 glasses, you the man"? If that's the case, then I don't care about looking cool. That's for sure. But yeah, Omega, he gives those glasses to Nakazawa, and Omega and Nakazawa leave with the glasses, and Orange Cassidy just kind of stands there. So Orange Cassidy is going to get his retribution. And look, I like Orange Cassidy. Of course, if they build it up right, if they lay out a match properly, he could be in a main event. But in the main event of a pay-per-view, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not like he could just win the championship and defend that thing week after week, pay-per-view after pay-per-view, and that work. I just don't see that happening. But time will tell. Time will tell. It will tell all. Now, Tony Schiavone is interviewing Miro, and this is somebody who a lot of people were expecting to be in the title picture by now. Well, he's looking for titles. He said that all the titles are in danger. So I suppose even the women's championship, I don't know if he thought about that. The tag, does he have a tag partner? I'm not so sure. Kip Sabian, I don't know if he'd want to tag with him after this. Well, he is looking for those championships, and he has decided that he's going to go for Darby Allin, and he doesn't care. He's got the contract. He's got the papers. Darby cannot forfeit for any reason. He cannot. He must fight him. He must have this match, and he wants that TNT championship. So it's going to happen. And for some reason, Tony Schiavone kept like moving his mouth when he wasn't talking. When Miro was speaking, Tony Schiavone was doing these weird mouth movements, and it was like throwing me off. Like, what is he doing? Even to the point where I think the cameraman noticed and was like, whoop, and just focused on uh on Miro. So that was weird. I don't know if that was some kind of inside joke or he was having some kind of issue with his face. But yeah, they already had the match card ready for this match. For the next week's match, which can be Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. He's putting it on the line against Miro. We find out that Jade Cargill will be interviewed next week by Tony Schiavone. Will this be live? That's my big question. Or will it be a pre-recorded Tony Schiavone interview? Probably so. But if they do it live in front of people, at least you'll have Tony Schiavone being able to guide. He'll be able to guide into the right questions to give the right answers. But right now, it's the main event. It is the Blood and Guts cage match. We got the Pinnacle. They're in all white. Even Tully Blanchard, who's their little manager here, he's on all white as well. Versus Inner Circle, who is in all black prison outfits, which was a cool look. If there's gonna be blood involved, hey, white will catch a lot of blood. So yeah, there's a lot of rules into this thing. I actually screenshotted what they put up on the screen. It's Blood and Guts. Blood and Guts begins with one member from each team for a 5-minute period. After the 5, giving them a 2-on-1 advantage. Each team will alternate sending in a man every 2 minutes. And there's no pinfalls here. It's submission or give up only. So it's going to make things interesting. We get Dax and Guevara to begin. Guevara jumpstarts this match by running and jumping into Dax's ring. They were on opposite sides onto the top rope. They're fighting. They're trying to grate each other's faces on the cage. And I like the way they laid this out. It was very smart to put in, I hate to say this, Sammy, but some of the not as interesting people in the match. Of course, you don't want to start off with the two most boring people. That's why you got Guevara in there. But to start off with the lesser interesting people, the lower card people, and build to the more interesting storylines, the storylines you're going to build up in the future, and then your main event type people. So keep that in mind as we do this thing. Yes, we get in Guevara for some reason pulls down the tights of Dax, so we get some Dax crack. So at least two instances of butt crack on the show. Sammy with a huge springboard cutter. Spears enters the ring with the chair because he's the chairman. And a bloody Dax comes in with a 2-on-1 advantage here. It's you got Ortiz, look, in the ring. You got Guevara. Tries to go for a springboard again, but he slips. Big botch here, slips off. And yeah, I guess that's going to happen, when people are sweating all over the place, when you got so much action, there's going to be some slippage. Cash is in, Santana is in, Wardlow's in, Hager's in. Man, much blood everywhere. Wardlow and Hager have a standoff. I'm interested to see these two guys, when they have their match, whenever this continues to build, because I like the way they're doing it, the way they're doing these segments where, they're got their standoffs. You're like, oh man, what's going to happen when these two guys collide? MJF enters with an arena full of boos. Santana isolates, and Jericho finally enters this thing. He is the last phase of the match where we transition, the bell rings, and hey, it's submission or surrender only. And that's where this match can actually come to some kind of conclusion. Of course, we got to have a big standoff and a big collision here in the ring. And yeah, we're back from the break, and the ring is getting ripped up. They're teasing pile drivers. Who's going to get pile drived right on that oak wood? My goodness, it's going to be brutal. And yeah, Dax and Cash both get spiked on the wood. Top rope gets removed. The turnbuckle gets removed. It's used as a weapon. Sammy goes for a coast-to-coast, driving this chair into Spears' face. So poetic justice for that chair. Jericho uses the removed turnbuckle, the steel turnbuckle, to beat MJF's face. He's bleeding. Everyone's bleeding. There's blood everywhere, all over their white tights and gear. Santana uses a fork, or I suppose it's a shank, since they're all in prison outfits, on MJF, and Wardlow slips and falls with Hager on his shoulders. So there's a few botches here in this match, but yeah, can we just forgive it because there was so much chaos and there's so much blood, or do they have to own up to it? Because man, there was a couple of botches, some obvious like whoa, whoops a daisy type stuff, right? Slipping and falling. We get another commercial break, which makes me think, like, could they have not made this commercial free? Because there's so much action, like this would have been the perfect time to do it. Or is that just a subtle reminder that, hey guys, we got a pay-per-view coming up in 25 days here on the 30th, May 30th. It's Double or Nothing. And guess what? There won't be any commercials, because the whole time I was thinking, another commercial break? Oh my goodness. Back from break, we got Jericho on top of the cell with MJF. I mean, and look, Jericho was milking this thing. He was like going up, going up. Are we back from break? Going up, going up. Okay, we're back from break. I'm on top of this thing. He's alone with MJF. MJF is a little surprised to see Jericho on there. And I'm like, dude, you can see through this cage. You can see through chain link fence. Did he really think he was hiding? And this whole time when he got up there, I was thinking, like, did Jericho feel like he missed out on a big Hell in the Cell spot? And he like wanted to do it in his career, so they just did it here? That's all I could think the entire time, because that's what this felt like. It turned into a Hell in the Cell match. Now, we get the walls on top of the cell and a low blow from MJF. Fujiwama armbar. MJF to Jericho. And Jericho, man, he puts on that Dynamite ring and decks Jericho. All of this is good stuff here on the top. You know, they're really milking it. They're selling it. They're taking their time. They're showing off. It's good stuff. Now, MJF, he is looking off of the cell with bad intent in his eye. MJF is letting the dudes down below who are starting to realize what's happening up there, that MJF has Jericho in a precarious position. Jericho is out on his feet. He can't defend himself, and MJF wants to destroy this man. So they're noticing, and you can hear Sammy Guevara saying, no, don't do this. And MJF is like, you guys better give up. You better surrender. You better surrender right now, or I'm tossing Jericho off this thing. So Sammy Guevara surrenders the match, effectively letting the Pinnacle win this thing. And MJF, he holds his hand high. And I'm like, well, I know that he's getting retribution and everything, but at the same time, it's like, man, just so dirty, just so wrong. It's kind of funny because now the guys in the prison outfits in all black are the good guys, and MJF in all white and all his dudes are the bad guys. So visually, that was kind of throwing me off, because it's kind of the opposite of the way wrestling has always kind of portrayed things. You know, But anyways, here on top, he's like, screw it. MJF is like, man, forget this, dude. Forget it. And he is on the edge of this thing. They have like a very clear section that is like no holes. It's just flat. It's clear for them to stand on, so nobody can like get stuck on anything. There can be no mistakes. And MJF, he just pushes Jericho back first off of the cage, like Rikishi style. And what was that, Armageddon 2000? And he falls, but not through a bunch of hay bales on the back of a truck, but through a giant crash pad with fake diamond plate cardboard on top. The first angle they showed didn't look so good. Now, all the other camera angles they used looked fine. So I always hate it when this happens. It's like, why is it? And I know it's not their fault. They don't know exactly what it's going to look like. From like, they could do the fall 100 times, which nobody's body wants to take that, but they could do it 100 times and it's going to look good on this angle. Sometimes on this angle, it's going to look better. It's like, you cannot control these things. But I always wonder when they do this, Like, can't they, like, even if this was live, even if this was 100% live, can't they like put it on a 5-10 second delay so you can just select the actual angle that looks the best? You know, you're like, okay, we have the 10-second delay. Okay, which one? That one, or that one, that one. Let's use that one for the. Okay, we'll use that one. Oh, don't use that one. The first one, ooh, because it didn't really look so. You could clearly tell that there was a ton of crash pads below, making it look not as devastating. Obviously, not as devastating. But what do I know? So, they do this. They use the worst looking shot first, and the people boo. But I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm pretty sure people were booing because MJF is a freaking prick, and that is the case. I could be wrong. Who knows? It has to be. They were booing him in attendance, could really see. They probably were looking at it like, I mean, they're on the opposite, really far on sweaty. That was clearly a ad. But this was a crazy match. I like the main event a lot. I just wish it didn't have so many commercials because it really took away from the emotion and the buildup. Because it was like, oh man, this is getting intense. This is getting crazy. Commercial time. Who wants to see John Cena, Stone Cold, and Ric Flair all appear on AEW? Well, you can't, but you'll see them during the commercials during AEW. So that's always weird to see during the show. But this was a good episode. That's always weird to see during the show. But this was a good episode. Blood and guts. Um, it's a pretty good episode. This was a crazy match. You know, they tore apart the ring. You basically had a Hell in the Cell match with all these WCW type rules here in this. So, you know, it seems like a lot. They want to get viewers. They want to get people interested. They want to have all this chaos. There you go. There's your chaos. There's your insanity. There's your AEW. And thank you guys so much for watching. You can check out our YouTube Wrestling Federations, where we do an animated wrestling show. I'm currently working on the next episode, which is YWF Mayhem. You can see that at youtube.com/YouTube Wrestling Federation, or you can give it a like on Facebook. See some content there at facebook.com/YouTube Wrestling Federation. You can always follow me on Twitter. You can @ me at MXW Chronics. Links are in the description. And of course, my Twitch, twitch.tv/donut_space. And I will catch you guys next time. And next time, I'm going to be in focus. I'm going to put this on a list. Be directly in focus. Because, man, what the heck? Catch you guys next time. Peace.